Have you ever noticed how two people can love each other deeply and still feel constantly misunderstood? How one partner can feel abandoned even when nothing dramatic has happened, while the other feels suffocated even when they genuinely care? Imagine this. Two adults sitting across from each other, believing the problem is communication, timing, compatibility, or even fate. But beneath the surface, something older is operating. Something neurological, something patterned, something built long before they ever met. Here's the truth most people never examine. Your attachment style is not just a personality label, it is a biologically conditioned relational strategy encoded into your nervous system. It is influenced by early caregiver responsiveness, shaped by stress hormones, reinforced through neural circuitry, and activated automatically in moments of intimacy or threat. Attachment theory was first systematically explored through longitudinal developmental research. What those studies revealed was profound. Infants who experienced consistent, responsive caregiving developed internal working models of safety. Their stress responses stabilized faster. Their cortisol levels reduced more quickly after distress. Their nervous systems learned regulation through co-regulation. In contrast, infants exposed to inconsistent or emotionally unavailable caregiving showed heightened stress reactivity. Their bodies remained activated longer. Their attachment behaviors intensified or suppressed as adaptive strategies. Now fast forward 20 or 30 years, that early regulatory pattern does not disappear. It becomes your template for adult romantic bonding. Neuroimaging studies have shown that adult romantic attachment activates many of the same neural networks involved in early caregiver bonding, including the ventral tegmental area, nucleus accumbens, and oxytocin-rich hypothalamic pathways. Romantic love is not just emotional, it is a reactivation of early attachment circuitry. Let's break this down scientifically. Secure attachment is associated with higher baseline vagal tone, meaning better parasympathetic nervous system regulation. Securely attached individuals recover more quickly from interpersonal stress. They show balanced amygdala activation during conflict. They demonstrate greater prefrontal cortex engagement when processing relational threats. In simple terms, their brains are better at staying calm under emotional pressure. Anxious attachment, on the other hand, correlates with heightened amygdala reactivity. The amygdala scans for danger constantly. A delayed text message can trigger a cascade of cortisol release. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis activates. The body enters mild threat mode. This is not weakness, it is a hyperactivated attachment system attempting to prevent abandonment. Avoidant attachment presents differently. Neurobiological research suggests that avoidantly attached individuals often suppress emotional processing. Functional imaging shows decreased activation in brain regions associated with emotional awareness and increased activation in regulatory suppression networks. In other words, the system does not ignore threat, it downregulates it through detachment. Emotional distancing becomes a coping mechanism. Now imagine these systems interacting. An anxious individual perceives distance and escalates bids for reassurance. The avoidant individual perceives escalation as intrusion and increases withdrawal. The anxious nervous system reads withdrawal as danger. The avoidant nervous system reads pursuit as threat. Both feel unsafe. Both believe the other is the problem. In reality, two nervous systems are attempting self-protection. Here's a surprising fact supported by behavioral reinforcement research. Intermittent reinforcement, meaning unpredictable reward patterns, increases dopamine activity more than consistent reward. That means the anxious-avoidant dynamic can feel more chemically addictive than a stable, secure relationship. When reassurance is inconsistent, dopamine spikes intensify. This unpredictability strengthens attachment anxiety rather than calming it. Now, consider the role of oxytocin. Often called the bonding hormone, oxytocin promotes trust and social bonding. Secure interactions increase oxytocin release, which in turn reduces amygdala activation and promotes calm. However, individuals with attachment insecurity may not experience oxytocin effects in the same way. Some studies suggest that anxious individuals may experience oxytocin as amplifying emotional salience, making relational cues even more intense. Think about what that means. Two people can experience the same interaction and have completely different physiological responses. One feels stable, the other feels threatened. Now let's integrate modern context. Digital communication disrupts attachment regulation. Text-based communication removes tone, facial expression, and physical reassurance. Without nonverbal cues, the brain fills in gaps. The default bias under insecurity is negative interpretation. Studies on ambiguity resolution show that anxious individuals are more likely to interpret neutral signals as rejection. Avoidant individuals are more likely to dismiss emotional cues entirely. Social media intensifies comparison. Research in social comparison theory demonstrates that repeated exposure to idealized relationships increases dissatisfaction. Perceived alternatives, amplified through dating apps, activate reward anticipation systems. When the brain perceives potential alternatives, commitment circuits weaken. Decision-making research shows that abundance of options reduces long-term satisfaction. Now, consider stress physiology. Chronic stress elevates baseline cortisol. Elevated cortisol reduces emotional regulation capacity and impairs empathy-related neuroprocessing. In a high-stress environment, attachment insecurity intensifies. Modern life is saturated with chronic stressors, financial pressure, social comparison, career instability. Attachment systems become more reactive under stress. Here's another research-backed insight. Emotional labeling reduces limbic activation. When individuals articulate feelings clearly, prefrontal cortex activity increases and amygdala activity decreases. This is why emotionally intelligent communication stabilizes relationships. It literally shifts neural processing from reactive to reflective. Imagine a partner saying, "When you didn't call, I felt anxious because connection is important to me." Compare that to "you never care." The first activates empathy circuits. The second activates defensive threat responses. Now we reach the psychological core. Attachment styles influence mate selection. Studies show that individuals are often unconsciously drawn to partners who reinforce familiar attachment dynamics. Familiarity feels safe, even if it is unstable. The brain prefers predictability over health. That is why someone with an anxious attachment may feel intense chemistry with an avoidant partner. The dynamic mirrors early unpredictability. Here's the emotional turning point. Many people believe their attachment style defines them permanently. That is scientifically inaccurate. Neuroplasticity allows relational templates to shift through repeated corrective experiences. Secure relationships can rewire insecure attachment. Therapy that incorporates attachment-based interventions shows measurable reductions in anxiety and avoidance scores over time. Imagine someone who has spent years believing they are too needy. They enter a relationship with consistent responsiveness. Over time, their baseline stress response decreases. Their nervous system recalibrates. They stop scanning constantly for threat. That shift is measurable. Heart rate variability improves. Cortisol responses decrease. The body learns safety. Now, imagine someone who has always suppressed vulnerability. They experience a partner who responds to emotional sharing without judgment. Gradually, suppression decreases. Emotional expression becomes less threatening. Neural pathways associated with avoidance weaken. Attachment is not destiny, it is pattern. Patterns can be interrupted, but interruption requires awareness. If you are listening and recognizing yourself in one of these descriptions, pause and analyze your relational history. Do you escalate quickly during uncertainty? Do you detach when closeness increases? Do you oscillate between craving intimacy and fearing it? Reflection is the first intervention. And I want to hear from you. Which attachment pattern resonates most with your experiences? Share it in the comments. These conversations normalize what so many people experience privately. When we discuss it openly, we transform shame into understanding. If this deeper, research-driven breakdown of psychology helps you see your love life through a scientific lens rather than a purely emotional one, consider subscribing. This channel focuses on unpacking the biology beneath our emotions, attraction,